Something inside you already knows. You can feel it, even if you can't fully explain it. God is sending an urgent warning. There is a shift happening in the spiritual realm, and whether you realize it or not, you are a part of it. Have you noticed how the world feels different lately? The restlessness, the uncertainty, the events unfolding around us, these are not just coincidences. The signs are everywhere. The divine clock is ticking, and many still refuse to see it. But you were led here for a reason. Right now, God is calling His chosen ones. There is no more time for hesitation, no more time for doubt. The season we are entering is not like any other. It is a time of awakening, a time of decision. And if you are here, if you are listening to these words, it means that God is speaking to you. Have you ever felt that pull in your heart? That quiet whisper in your soul telling you that something is coming, that you were meant for something greater, something beyond the ordinary? That's not just a feeling. That is God preparing you. That is Him stirring your spirit, because you are being positioned for something bigger than you can imagine. The truth is, many people ignore the warnings. They dismiss the signs, believing that life will continue as it always has. But deep inside, you know better. You have seen too much, felt too much, and experienced too many moments of divine intervention to ignore what's happening now. This is a moment of decision, a moment where God is asking, will you listen? Will you be ready? Will you step into what I have prepared for you? I want you to hear this with your whole heart. God does not send warnings without purpose. He does not call without a reason. If you are here, if these words are reaching your spirit, then God is speaking to you directly. He is saying, prepare yourself, open your heart, be watchful, for the time is near. And let me tell you something. At the end of this message, you will understand exactly what God wants from you in this critical time. You will know why you were called and what you must do next. But first, I want you to take action right now. If you feel this message resonating in your soul, if you know that God is speaking to you at this very moment, then let your faith be seen. Type "I'm listening, Lord" in the comments. Declare it in faith. Let heaven know that you are listening, that you are ready, that you are responding to the call. This is not just a message, it is a divine moment. Don't ignore it. Don't let it pass you by. Because what comes next could change everything. Look around you. Something is happening in the world. Chaos, confusion, calamities, it's everywhere. The earth is trembling with disasters. Wars are breaking out. Morality is crumbling, and deception is running rampant. This is not just a coincidence. These are signs, warnings that God Himself has given us long ago. Jesus spoke of this in Matthew 24:6-8, saying that we would hear of wars and rumors of wars, that nation would rise against nation, that there would be famines and earthquakes in various places. These, He said, would be the beginning of birth pains. Can you see it now? The world is not heading toward peace, it is rushing toward judgment. And yet, most people continue living as if nothing is happening. They ignore the signs, they mock those who warn them, and they refuse to believe that God's wrath is real. But God's judgment is not a myth. It is not a story to scare children. It is written, it is promised, and it is unfolding before our very eyes. Revelation 16:1 speaks of the 7 bowls of God's wrath being poured out upon the earth. This is not a time to be asleep. This is a time to wake up. Imagine a ship in the middle of a vast ocean, battered by a violent storm. The captain is gone. The crew is lost. There is no compass, no direction, no control. The waves grow stronger, the winds scream, and the ship is being pulled into the heart of the storm. This is the world today. No leadership, no morality, no fear of God. A world driven by greed, corruption, and spiritual blindness. A world rejecting the very one who created it, running further and further from the truth. And where does this ship end up? not in safety, not in peace. It is heading straight toward destruction. The question is, are you on that ship? Listen carefully. You have a choice. You do not have to go down with the world. You do not have to be swept away by the storm. But you must decide now because time is running out. Are you prepared for what is coming? If you are still unsure, if you are still waiting for a sign, let me tell you, this is your sign. God is calling you today, right now. He is offering you a way out, but you must be willing to listen. The Bible warns us in Luke 21:36 to always be on watch and to pray that we may be able to escape all that is about to happen and stand before the Son of Man. This is not the time to be lukewarm. This is not the time to sit on the fence. You are either prepared or you are not. Which one will it be? If you feel like your life has been filled with trials, know that this is part of God's divine preparation. Nothing you have endured has been in vain. Every tear, every struggle, every closed door was shaping you for something greater. God does not choose the qualified. He qualifies the chosen. And the chosen ones are tested, stretched to their limits because God is preparing them for a powerful purpose. Do you ever feel like your path is harder than others? Do you see people moving forward easily while you seem to face one battle after another? Listen closely. This is not a punishment. It is a preparation. God's greatest warriors are forged in the fire of adversity. Think about Noah. God gave him an impossible mission. He was ridiculed, mocked, and called a fool. Imagine what it must have been like to build a massive ark when it had never even rained before. Noah saw no physical signs, no proof that disaster was coming, yet he obeyed. He trusted even when everyone around him laughed. And then one day, the rain came. And those who ignored the warnings were left behind. Or consider Elijah. He stood against kings and false prophets, confronted the corruption of his time, and was forced into the wilderness. Surviving only by the provision of God, he witnessed drought, watched people turn their backs on the truth, yet he remained steadfast. When Elijah felt alone, when he thought he was the last faithful one left, God revealed that he had hidden a remnant, others who had been prepared for the right time. Just like Noah and Elijah, you may be facing moments of isolation, moments of doubt, moments where it feels like defeat. But God never abandons those He calls. If you are feeling the weight of this season, it is because God is calling you to something greater. You are not being crushed, you are being refined. Gold must go through the fire to be purified. Diamonds must be shaped to shine. God is not punishing you, He is preparing you. This season of trial is temporary. The storm will not last forever. God's silence does not mean He is absent. Sometimes He is quiet because He has already given you everything you need. He wants to see how far your faith will go, whether you trust Him even when you cannot see the way forward. Here is the truth. Those who endure the test will be lifted up at the right time. Noah endured years of ridicule before his mission was fulfilled. Elijah had to wait in the wilderness before he saw fire fall from heaven. And you may be in the middle of your journey of overcoming. But know this: your breakthrough is coming. God sees every tear, every effort, every battle you have faced, and He will not leave you in the wilderness forever. You are closer to your promise than you think. Do not give up now. Now that you understand what is happening, you must prepare yourself spiritually. This is not the time to sit back and wait. This is the time to take action, to strengthen your faith, and to align yourself with God's plan. You have been given this message for a reason, and what you do next matters more than ever. The world is changing, and the signs are clear. God is calling His people to wake up, to stand firm, and to be ready for what is coming. The question is, will you answer that call? If you are wondering what to do now, here is where you start. Pray daily, not just when you feel desperate, not just when you need something. Pray to build a relationship with God, to hear His voice, to let His wisdom guide your steps. Spend time in His presence, because the closer you are to Him, the clearer your path will become. Seek repentance, not as a one-time act, but as a lifestyle. We all fall short. We all make mistakes, but God's mercy is always available for those who truly seek it. Let go of anything that separates you from Him. Strengthen your faith, because in the days ahead, you will need it more than ever. Read His Word, stand on His promises, declare His truth over your life. The enemy will try to shake you, but when your faith is strong, nothing can move you from God's plan. And one of the most important things you can do is share this message. There are people around you, friends, family, loved ones, who need to hear this, who need to wake up before it is too late. Do not keep this to yourself. If you have received this word today, it is your responsibility to pass it on. Be the voice that leads others back to God, because you never know whose life you might change with one simple act of obedience. Today, you must make a choice. Will you align yourself with God, or will you continue ignoring the signs? Will you step into the calling He has placed on your life, or will you let the distractions of this world keep you asleep? This is your moment to decide, and I urge you choose wisely. Choose faith over fear. Choose obedience over hesitation. Choose God over everything else. If you are ready to take that step, if you know in your heart that this message was meant for you, then declare it now. Type, "I'm ready, Lord," in the comments. Let heaven see your commitment. Let the world know that you are awake, and let this be the day that everything changes. You are not alone in this journey. God is with you, and He has prepared you for such a time as this. Step forward in faith, because the time is now. You are not alone. No matter what you have faced, no matter how heavy the burden has been, know this: God is calling His chosen ones to rise up. This is not the time to shrink back. This is not the time to be silent. This is the moment to stand in faith, to prepare your spirit, and to walk in the purpose God has set before you. The signs are clear, the warnings have been given, and those who have ears to hear will understand that we are living in a time like no other. The world is falling into deeper chaos. Darkness is spreading. Fear is gripping the hearts of many. But for those who are awake, for those who are listening, for those who are preparing, they will see the glory of the Lord. While the world trembles, those who trust in God will stand firm. While many are lost in confusion, those who have aligned themselves with His Word will walk in divine wisdom. Those who hear the call and prepare will not be shaken. This is the time for faith to rise. This is the time for the true remnant to step forward and take their place. God is separating those who are truly His, and He is strengthening them for what is to come. Now, I ask you to take action. Do not keep this message to yourself. If you have felt the urgency in your heart, if you know that God is speaking to you through these words, then share this message. Someone in your life needs to hear it. Someone needs to wake up before it is too late. Save a soul today. Be the light that leads someone back to God. Stand boldly, share the truth, and let your faith be known. May God have mercy on us. The time is short,